Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Nevermind Bollocks. Thank you for tuning in.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hi, Miguel.
Oh, that's my man first, always. I love it.
Hello, Miguel.
Hello, Miguel. So let's see. All right. We already got 10 people. Let's go. Smash the like, smash subscribe, because you guys slack on that shit. So you gotta keep my channel up and running.
Please.
But who just joined? I can't see what that says.
Holly.
Holly! Hey!
Hi, Holly.
What's that saying?
This just says, hi, Savage Joy Marie Man.
Aw. Well, we have quite a number of stories this week. We're never lacking. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
Oh, what a clusterfuck. So I've done a lot of shows about the shit libs lately, so I'm gonna kind of there's just so much many videos and stuff, so yeah, I'm just gonna like take a step back from that. And
there's a little bit of that tonight, but it's not the main
like
focus.
A little, yeah. It's just like a taste. But Tuesday night, my podcast with Josh, that's more of a show where we just are completely filthy and just basically hate on shit libs and stuff like that. This is more of a serious show. Even though it's not totally serious because I'm sarcastic and a dork, it's more serious than my Tuesday ones. So let's get going. We have quite a number of topics.
We do.
So this is actually really exciting. I hate the word hero, but Malcolm X is a fucking revolutionary. I think, can you guys see?
Yeah.
I have his picture right there. He is incredible. Was a fucking revolutionary, and this is very exciting news.
Yeah, so Malcolm X's daughters have filed a $100 million wrongful death lawsuit. They're suing the FBI, CIA, and the NYPD over alleged roles in the assassination. They say there's a conspiracy there, which I would not doubt for a second.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was so dangerous because not physically, but mentally, he was a fucking genius. Yeah.
Yep. So the family of civil rights activist Malcolm X has sued CIA, FBI, NYPD, and other agencies over their alleged roles in his 1965 assassination. So this was filed Friday in a New York City federal court, announced by attorneys Ben Crump and Raymond Hamlin alongside the late activist's relatives at a press conference. One of X's 5 living daughters, Elise, I don't know how to pronounce this name, Ilyasa Shabazz, stood on stage while Crump announced a lawsuit against, quote, the United States government, the FBI, CIA, NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X. There's a little video clip. You want me to play this?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Against the United
One second. I'm going to refresh the page. It's having problems.
We here today officially announce the filing of our $100 million lawsuit against the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X. Over the last 3 years, every day, every week, every month, we have been unearthing new evidence, evidence of people never having spoken before about what they witnessed during those turbulent times in the 1960s.
Right.
Whew. So, if you guys have watched my show for a minute, Reverend Annie Chambers, Black Panther, friend of Fidel, student of Malcolm, student of Fred Hampton, just like the most legit living revolutionary, period. She's been on my show many times. I'm going to reach out to her and see if she will come back to speak on this. I definitely want to get her thoughts, because we talk about stuff like this quite often. She was his student. She loves and respects him very much. And of course, anyone who knows anything about Malcolm X knows this is true. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. So it says the suit alleges there was a corrupt relationship between the government and, quote, ruthless killers that went unchecked for many years and was actively concealed, condoned, protected, and facilitated by government agents. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we shall see, but it's exciting that he said that new information has come out. 1965, we're talking almost 60 years. It's crazy because every time you watch a video of Malcolm, it could have been today. It could have been like his videos on Palestine, his videos on racism, his videos on class war. You name it. It absolutely could have been today. It's incredible. He was a true king, and his legacy is just always going to live on, and he's inspired so many people. It's really interesting. The first time I read his book was in college, my freshman year, and my eyes were fine at that point, and I read it, and there were a few parts that stuck out to me, but the one that, as an English major, that really stuck out to me was how, when he was in prison, he was so headstrong on teaching himself how to read that he would go through the dictionary word for word, trying to pronounce, write, spell every single word, to the point that his eyes started going blind because he would have to do it in the dark.
Oh.
And that just stuck with me for some reason. I just thought, my God, like, that's how much he wanted education. That's how much he wanted to learn. And then, going blind myself, I was just like, sometimes I think back to that, and I was just like, it's weird how much that inspired me. And then now it's taken on a very different meaning. But yeah, just such an incredible man. So I am looking forward to see what is coming in the future about this case and what will hopefully be unearthed.
Yeah, me
So
too.
that's actually the same one. You can disregard that.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
yes, a little bit of good news.
That is exciting. Yeah.
So I think our next topic, yes, this, oh my God. Woo! I've watched this about 300 times.
I like that this one has subtitles, right?
Yes.
Is this actually the translation of what she's singing, chanting? Yeah, it seems to be.
I can't read what it said, but that's what it's supposed to be, yeah.
Okay.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery is to be cleared.
Can we please have people like that?
I was going to say, why don't we have anything like that at all? We have nothing.
Seriously.
We have
But
no
the
culture.
fury of her, she's like shaking when she does it. It's just like, oh, I love her. Damn. So fucking powerful. So there's an article I gave you underneath
Yeah.
that kind of explains what this protest is in reference to.
Maori Haka in New Zealand Parliament to protest a bill to reinterpret a founding treaty. So they're going back and trying to reinterpret something that's already been written to what? Why is she ripping this up?
Well, you'll have to
Let me
start
see.
reading the article.
New Zealand's parliament was brought to a temporary halt by MPs performing a haka amid anger over a controversial bill seeking to reinterpret the country's founding treaty with Maori people. Opposition party MP Hana Rawiti Maipi Clark began the traditional ceremonial group dance after being asked whether her party supported the bill, which faced its first vote on Thursday. Meanwhile, a hikoi, or peaceful protest march organized by a Maori rights group, is continuing to make its way towards the capital, Wellington. Thousands have already joined the 9-day march against the bill. The country is often considered, I guess this is New Zealand, is often considered a leader in Indigenous rights, but opponents of the bill fear those same rights are being put at risk by this bill. It says ACT, the political party that introduced the bill, argues there is a need to legally define the principles of the 1840 Treaty of Waitangi, which has been fundamental to race relations in New Zealand. The core values of the treaty have, over time, been woven into New Zealand's laws as an effort to redress the wrong done to Maori during colonization. But ACT, a minor party in the ruling center-right coalition, says this has resulted in the country being divided by race, and the bill will allow the treaty to be interpreted more fairly through Parliament rather than the courts. The party's leader, David Seymour, has dismissed opponents as wanting to, quote, stir up fear and division. So the people introducing the bill are saying that the natives are wanting to stir up fear and division? Is that
Correct.
okay. Critics, however, say the legislation will divide the country and lead to the unraveling of much needed support for many Maori. It says the first reading of this bill passed on Thursday after a 30-minute break. The woman, Maipi Clark, was suspended from the House, it looks like, and it is unlikely to pass a second reading. as ex-coalition partners have indicated they will not support it. Will not support a second reading, I guess. Interesting. And let's see. Quote, "We are a multicultural society built on a bicultural base, something that cannot be altered." This is from a native Maori woman. She told the BBC she was hoping the hikoi would be big, the protest would be big, but it was much more epic than I expected. She says, "I marched to make the point that the Tiriti, the Treaty of Waitangi, is very important to our national identity," said Winston Pond, who also took part in the march on Wednesday.
That was so epic. It was so powerful that just to see that, the organization and passion.
Yeah. Why don't we have anything like that?
Seriously, because we have no elected officials with any fucking balls.
We have a comment from Holly. It says, "Note to Pelosi, that's how you tear paper."
Oh, shit! Yes! Yes!
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
Damn right. I'm mad I didn't think of that. Props. What do we have next?
Trump and Biden meet at the White House, apparently.
Like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Like we said.
All right. So that's it then. Like, we're not waiting till. We're just doing this now. It's weird. I don't know. I wish they would put a mic on Biden. I can barely hear what he's saying.
Said, smooth transition. Do everything we can.
Smooth
to make sure
transition.
you're
Do everything we
accommodated, what
can.
you need.
Make sure you get everything you need, Mr. Trump.
Didn't realize I was muted.
Oh.
We're going to get a chance to talk about some of that.
I'm gonna get some water.
Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today.
Well, that's a
and I
roaring
appreciate
fire,
very
isn't it?
much.
Jeez, it's
A
going.
transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Like we said,
I don't know, man.
transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need.
That seems kind of fake to me, but maybe that's just me.
And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
welcome.
Thank you.
What do you say is
Thank
just
you very
you?
much. And
It just seems so staged and fake, which I know
Yeah,
it all
it's so
is. but
contrived.
yeah, right. Like,
Like
weren't
they're
these
like
people just
smiling and shit. Like such
right?
a smooth transition. And then Biden's like, I'll make sure you get anything you need. Welcome
Right.
back.
Right.
Why the fuck aren't shit libs freaking out about this? They're laughing and smiling like fucking friends. Because they
'Cause
are.
they are.
I mean,
Yeah.
same donors.
I mean, I was saying that this seems fake, but this is the real thing. Them sitting and talking and being on the same page about most things is the reality.
Yep.
All of the fighting is part of the theater for election time.
Yep. Absolutely. They certainly don't look uncomfortable, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So this was something I wanted to look into deeper because, with conjecture, you can say it happened for many reasons. I saw some people saying that this was because Elon is probably like hiring people to go in and report things. It's conjecture, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because he's losing a lot of revenue with people leaving. Um,
Yeah.
however,
Yeah.
been DMing me that the amount of you, I mean, you all know if you're on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok, the amount of Islamophobia and racism coming from shitlibs is absolutely astounding. And they
Mhm.
all went to Blue Sky. So basically, a lot of people are reporting those things. And that's where a lot of these reports are coming from.
I
And
see.
what's that?
As I said, I see.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, let's all move over to a different platform because we're protesting Elon Musk. But then while we're there, we can be free of watermelon people, as they call us.
Oh,
And
really? Huh.
yeah, yeah. And that way we can say whatever we want. Well, now, and you can look at my page on Twitter because it's absolutely disgusting. Now, type in the words fuck hashtag free Palestine. Because now that's the thing that people are responding to when we post things on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
I posted pictures of babies that were bloodied. Okay, several pictures that were just because dude was coming at me about being like anti-Semitic, of course, because I'm pro-Palestine. So,
Yeah.
I was like, I posted those pictures and stuff, and he comes back and he's like, fuck free Palestine and stuff like this. And then I was like, fuck free Palestine. What does that even mean? So I'm like, okay, are they using this as like an own? So I typed it in and like shitlibs are literally saying fuck free Palestine. Like they're cheering this shit on. I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
that, but now it's gotten to the point that it's like becoming an actual like hate group.
What the fuck, man?
I don't like Trump because he's racist and hateful, but also fuck Gaza. I hope it turns into a parking lot, and fuck you, and I don't care about these dead babies. Makes sense.
I have not gone on to Blue Sky yet. I did not make an account there.
Me either.
I don't really have any desire to
I
be
don't either because
led into another place.
I know that's the thing. Like, I'm already overwhelmed with this shit.
Yeah, imagine checking 2 Twitters all the time. That would be
Like,
hell.
I don't know anyone that I want to go over there for because I haven't
Yeah.
seen anyone that I'm comrades with that says I'm leaving Twitter, and like it's all been shit libs, which bye bitch.
Miguel says Blue Sky is a huge failure. I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but
I haven't, tried to look at it or anything, but it's look blue,
you're right. It's in the name.
blue.
Yep.
And all the shit libs are going there. So that's all I need to
And
know. Like,
Elon is really leaning hard into that Republican thing. All of a sudden, recently, he's been riding that pretty hard. I think on purpose to like divide the online community into 2 apps.
it's kind of amazing though, because like I am getting like it's kind of like when I see people like Brooklyn Dad saying, I just lost 45,000 followers last night. Yes. Love to see it.
That
Yes.
is pretty cool.
Like And he's not the only one. And it's just like awesome because after this election, shitlibs are finally like, okay, these people we've been following, they actually don't really know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I digress. What is next?
Adam Schiff is back to promoting the disproven Russiagate narrative that Putin stole the election for Donald Trump.
House last year for, in their view, holding positions of power during the Trump presidency as chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. And according to them, quote, abusing this trust by saying there was evidence of collusion between Trump's campaign and Russia. And I wonder if you are feeling at all about that was, according to the Mueller report and according to your Republican colleagues, an overstatement. And I wonder if you think in any way you help set the table for these disruptors.
First of all, it wasn't an overstatement. There is evidence of collusion. The Trump campaign manager was meeting with Russian intelligence and giving them internal polling data, just to give you one example. And the Mueller report sets all this out.
It does say, quote, the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities, which doesn't mean that he didn't, that there weren't meetings, but they didn't find evidence.
Mueller says that too. He says the fact that we didn't find proof beyond a reasonable doubt doesn't mean there wasn't evidence of conspiracy or coordination. So, but look, that's not what people were voting on. People were voting on, is this guy going to improve the economy? Is he going to address inflation? And we didn't persuade the American people that we had a better answer.
Okay, so now we're trying to prove a double negative. Like, it didn't say he did it, but it did not say he did not do it.
Yes,
so
quite.
We don't have proof he didn't do it. Maybe we don't have proof he did it, but we also don't have proof he did not do it. So can't be sure. I mean, why don't they ever? Well, I know why, but it's almost like, it's almost like we have this thing called WikiLeaks where Hizzlebub said, you know what, if I lose the election, we should say Russia was involved. It's almost like it'd be cool if something like that existed, but it doesn't.
Yeah. I'm putting him back up because Holly says he has the most punchable face. Isn't it though? He sits there so still and he's so soft looking. I bet you could just punch him.
You know what's funny though? He has what's called a 5 head. Like when people have like a really big forehead, or I don't know if his hair goes back far, but he kind of has like half a penis head. Like a penis mullet. I just made up a thing.
Yeah.
Look at that! Wait, look at that freeze frame. Oh my god! What the fuck is happening? Now I can't unsee that. Oh my god!
All right, next up, a teacher got fired or something. Let me see. For wearing a Trump hat?
No.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is a very popular teacher who's been here at Chino High for years. Now, neither the parents of the kid who wore the hat or the students who got the whole exchange on their cell phones wants to go on camera or be identified. But this thing has gone viral on social media. And here's what it sounds like.
I'm pissed. People voted for freaking rapists. I'm pissed off.
It's the voice of a Chino High teacher reacting to a student walking into his class wearing a Trump hat the day after the election.
Turn it off and tell him go back to your freaking seat now. Go. Take that. Can you send security up? Please, room B205.
Security.
Trump hat on, and I'm not going to tolerate it.
Unfortunately, this video is real.
Wow.
The president of the Chino Valley Unified School Board of Education, which Chino High is part of, says they are looking into this.
Teachers are not supposed to bring their political views, whether this is, on something else or specifically on this election. It should never happen.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I have a daughter. I have 3 nieces. He raped them. And it's people are voting for him. The Christians are voting for him. Bunch of losers.
God knows what this teacher could be capable of doing in a fit of rage.
He's just one of several parents concerned about the teacher's behavior.
You know, you cannot scream at a kid and call someone names over a political person. It's wrong, you know. So I don't mind kids being corrected, but in the proper way, not over some political stuff.
I don't care. Fire the hell out of me. I'm fighting for my daughter, my nieces, their rights.
If this teacher unfortunately has to be the example of what not to do, we need to move forward and address this behavior. And then we also have an opportunity now to say, hey, no more of this. Let's bring the kids together. Let's not bring in our own personal views, and let's respect each other, whether it's political or something else. Let's have respect for each other.
Yeah.
And we did reach out to the teacher in question. He has not responded to our requests. Now, in Moreno Valley, the school district there confirming that one of their teachers at one of the high schools is also on leave pending an investigation into what they're describing as a very similar outburst in class. So it seems to be an issue in some schools. So what happens here, we don't know what's going to happen with this teacher at this point. Live in Chino, I'm Christina Gonzalez. Back.
So, I mean, like, look, if you don't like the hat, like, I don't know, when I was in high school, we couldn't wear hats, period. I mean, we just weren't allowed. Like, and if you don't want, just say, hey, can you take your hat off because we're in the class? It's a hat. Everybody takes their hat off. Chill.
It would have been fine.
But, like, you're literally... What in the actual fuck? Fuck Trump, but that's not the point. The point is you're literally talking about our word with a bunch of teenage girls and boys, and like you are acting like the same people you are saying you are scared of. Like, if I was a parent with kids in that class, I would be so fucking outraged. It's so pathetic, because if that kid had on a hat that was like Harris Waltz, he would have been like totally fine. Like, oh, that was so unjust. They should have won, and been like hugging him and crying and shit. But no. And that woman was right. She's like, if we have to make an example out of it, then that's what we're going to do. And she's right. I mean, no kid should feel unsafe by their own fucking teacher. Crazy.
Right. I agree.
And it also probably freaks the kids out. Like, what if I do something he doesn't like? Like, look at the way he's fucking breaking down and having a hissy fit right now.
Yep.
Bananas.
It's weird.
Very.
Maybe you shouldn't be a teacher.
I'll say so.
All right. We're up to our next topic now. From Hotspot, the former head of Israeli National Security Council explains to Sky News the plan to, quote, stop the supply of food, fuel, and other important materials to conquer northern Gaza.
Joria Island was head of Israel's National Security Council. He has proposed a military strategy for Gaza called the General's Plan, which would lay siege to the entire north of the Strip and starve Hamas into surrender.
We encircled all northern part of Gaza 11 months ago. And because all this area is encircled by the Israeli forces, the best way to move forward is to conquer this land.
The plan has been seen by senior military commanders and Netanyahu's office. The IDF denies it is carrying it out, but many analysts say there is evidence to the contrary.
What we should have done to tell all the remaining 400,000 civilians that they should leave this area, even the competence of Hamas, everyone should leave. But after 2 weeks, I will stop the supply of food, fuel, and other, let's say, important material. And this is the most effective way to conquer the northern part of Gaza without killing civilians, because all those civilians by that time will be out of this area.
And if they can't leave? Or if they don't want to leave?
If they don't want to
I'm
leave.
saying I will not begin the siege before I see what is happening with the civilians.
And what if Hamas will leave? Then what do you achieve?
Now I have a real leverage that might force you to release the Israeli hostages. Because if you don't do it, I will not evacuate this area.
We have verified this video of an Israeli drone strike near the coast. The people watching, believed to be soldiers, laugh as one of them sings the final countdown.
What the fuck?
I mean, we already have proof they have said things like, let's commit the Hannibal directive. Like, we already have proof. Here's yet again more proof. And to be like, okay, yeah, let's 400,000 people, let's get them out of there because we're going to conquer their land. Cool. They can't even walk down certain streets. And you're telling them they just need to leave. It's that easy.
Yeah.
No, you want them to try to leave so you can unalive them. That's what you want.
We've seen it happen.
Time and time
already.
again.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, you're not going to tell me these fucking politicians don't see these fucking videos.
Yeah, they see them. I want to go back to that whiteboard part of the video and just, what was on there? I saw like parts of it where it was like drawing an arrow and then it says dead underlined.
Oh, is there any way to bring it up and press pause?
Yeah. Just a second. Actually, no, I've already closed it. Sorry. It's gone.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, like, not only do we have receipts and tangibles of videos, photos, everything, and just them flat out saying they're gonna do this shit. If this happened decades ago, it wouldn't be as shocking because we had no proof. I mean, he's literally showing a map.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It's pretty gross. We have something from Richard Wolff. Richard Wolff talks about Palestine.
Israel can only exist in the long run, I suspect, and I know they suspect it too, by eliminating the Palestinians, either physically, which is a horrible thought, or by pushing them out, or by expelling them so they go to Egypt or Syria or Lebanon, somewhere else. And that means for them, the United States, and people have to face this even though it's hard, is a model. We did it. We Americans did it. What's left of the indigenous population here? We killed them almost all.
Yep.
And the few that remain live in horrific conditions in what we call reservations, and now vice versa. Israel is a model for the United States. What is it to it? It's trying to hold on to a colonial situation. The epithet that many use against Israel, that you are an example of settler colonialism, that's correct. That's right. They are. They're not different in that way from Rhodesia or South Africa. And what happened to all of them? Whoops.
Yeah.
Israel is arguably one of the last remaining settler colonialisms where the fight is still going on between the settlers and the people they displaced.
100%, man. I love Richard Wolff.
I mean, unfortunately, he nailed it, and that's something a lot of us have been saying for quite some time. The outcome is only going to be two ways.
Yeah.
What do we have next?
We have. I'm not sure what this is. Democrats in Congress are about to give Trump dictatorial powers to crush his opposition. Here's what you need to know.
Why are the Democrats handing Trump dictatorial powers to destroy and bankrupt his political opposition? Tomorrow, congressional Democrats will join Republicans to vote on a bill that'll allow the Treasury Department to strip any nonprofit that they accuse of supporting terrorism of their tax-exempt status, and they can do this without any evidence. Losing their 501c3 status would prevent nonprofits from collecting tax-deductible donations and lead banks to consider freezing or closing their accounts while they be hit with huge tax bills. Basically, it would be a strategy to completely shut down their operations. Not to mention, the Treasury doesn't even need to articulate a reason or provide any evidence that the group is actually supporting terrorism.
What?
They could presumably just do it based on things they've said. Just think about the implications of this. In a world where anyone who criticizes Israel's genocide is called a supporter of terrorism, that slander would now be turned into an actual weapon to target and shut down pro-Palestinian groups. It could easily be used to prosecute any group that's critical of the US government, especially its foreign policy, given how loosely the word terrorism is used in this country. This bill, which 52 Democrats voted for alongside all but one Republican, would give these powers to the incoming Trump administration on day one. So far, over 150 civil society groups have expressed their opposition to this bill in an open letter to Congress. Congress initially tried to fast-track this bill and almost got the two-thirds majority required for fast-track bills with the help of several right-leaning and pro-Israel Democrats. Tomorrow, they're set to vote on it again, but this time only with a simple majority, meaning it's very likely to pass. It's already incredibly illegal to support terrorist organizations. You can go to jail for this, and there's a legal standard to prove you're actually supporting terrorism materially. Not to mention, any nonprofit can lose its status if it does anything illegal. So all this begs the question, why does the executive branch even need such sweeping powers in the first place?
Yeah.
But what's really mind-boggling about all this is not even 2 weeks ago, the Democrats were comparing Trump to Hitler. Now they're giving the man they called Hitler the power to crush the political opposition under the guise of opposing terrorism. Donald Trump has repeatedly stated his intention to get revenge on his political enemies if he's reelected. He's also pledged to have pro-Palestine activists, which he's repeatedly tried to associate with terrorism, deported. Other groups at risk could include pro-immigrant groups. During his first
Pro-Hamas.
administration, Trump was considering designating Mexican drug cartels as terrorist groups. But as we've seen repeatedly, Trump and many of the other right-wing members of his new cabinet have repeatedly claimed that undocumented immigrants coming to America are agents of drug cartels. This association could be used to target nonprofits that help undocumented immigrants. But even groups that aren't directly involved in organizing protests or helping immigrants could be attacked under this bill just for speaking out in defense of those that do. This could include journalists, human rights organizations, and legal aid groups. In fact, there's no telling who could be affected by this because of how ambiguous and sweeping the language of the bill is. If there's any lesson to be learned here, it's that the Democrats were never going to save us. All of that talk about how dangerous Trump is, and now, not even 2 weeks after he gets elected, a group of Democrats end up being the ones trying to hand him the weapons to crush dissent and free speech.
How bizarre.
Debbie Wasserman Shield, no, she is for the people. She would never do this. And by people, I mean Hizbullah. So yeah, that's actually really scary because you're not just talking about like 501c3s that are for Palestinian mutual aid. You're also talking perhaps Jewish Voice for Peace. You're talking about organizations that help DACA. I mean, a lot of organizations could fall in that category.
Yeah.
Fascism is fucking here. How long have we been saying that shit?
And I think the Democrats need Trump to be the boogeyman, the real, they're amping him up just so that he can be more of a boogeyman to be afraid of.
For sure. Because nobody's going to pay attention to the fact that when this was passed, what do we have next? And people smash the like and subscribe. Pretty please. Let's see.
Pretty please.
I think there's like 70 watching or something. I can't make it out.
All right. A man asks Alan Dershowitz on the streets of New York, quote, "What were you doing on Epstein Island?"
What did you do on Epstein's Island? What did you and your wife do on Epstein's Island? Read this book. Find out the lies that these people are telling. What did you and your wife do on Epstein's Island? Do you regret going to Epstein's Island? Don't listen to these anti-Semites. Do you regret going to Epstein's Island? What did your wife do on Epstein's Island? Let me get a picture of you so I can sue you. Oh, whoa. Pedophile! 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 I like your dick, man. Don't push me, brother.
Nazi terrorist!
Dude,
Wow.
don't pay attention to this anti-Semitism.
How many bodyguards does this guy need? He has like 12.
Oh my god,
And what's
he's so
his book? He's
gross.
holding up a book. Does he want us to buy this book? Oh, he wrote the book. The
Yeah.
10 Big Anti-Israel Lies and How to Refute Them with Truth.
And that's why he's representing Israel in the ICJ hearings.
I see.
He is so incredibly repulsive. And I will never forget how the day Ghislaine was finally arrested and taken into custody, MSNBC asked Dershowitz to come on the air and comment. I shit you not. I will never fucking forget that. Like, what? Like, Israel, well, you know, I'm sure everyone watching knows this. Israel is home to the most PEDOS in the entire world because they can go there without any kind of penalization, because especially if they are Jewish or, you know, anything like that, they can go and not basically just continue living their lives. And if you look at the map of convicted ones, holy fuck, the map is like red because of all the pinpoints. It's truly astounding. So it makes sense that Dershowitz is protecting them.
Yeah, isn't it in the Talmud that certain kinds of that behavior is okay officially in their holy book?
I'm not certain of that, but I do know that a lot of them say that it is okay to do that to Palestinians because they're lesser than. So perhaps, I'm not certain, but anyone who would represent, like anyone who would represent Epstein in court is like the trashiest of the trash of the garbage of the dumpster fire. So yeah, it makes sense why they would want him representing them.
All right, we have a video.
What do you make of the recent announcement by the IDF that they will not allow anyone to return to northern Gaza after everything else that we have witnessed?
My answer is, I told you on the 14th of October 2023, I issued a statement when Israel issued a mass evacuation order, which is a monstrosity in and of itself. It cannot be legal under any circumstances, because you need to ensure safety, shelter, food, access to medical assistance to people you evacuate. It is to be for a purpose, for military necessity, for a short period of time. What Israel has done has kicked out 1.1 million people out of their homes, including elderly, persons with disabilities, pregnant women, while they were being bombed. And they've been sent to places which were being bombed. This is all documented. Not just by me, but forensic experts, the United Nations, Israeli lawyers themselves. And 22 hospitals have been part of this evacuation. Now, whomever didn't leave was considered a terrorist affiliate, as associate. So, but I said, 1 or 2 days after, I said, this is going to be the largest mass evacuation of Palestinians since the Nakba. And so it was, because I'm a scholar. My scholarship has been on forced displacement of the Palestinians. So I know that Israel, under the fog of war, takes the opportunity to forcibly displace the Palestinians in order to take the land. And they've said it, and they've done it.
Yeah.
So gross.
Yeah, we should not be surprised when they do what they say they're going to do.
Exactly. It's not like they're saying this shit behind closed doors. They fucking tweet it.
Yeah. And TikTok.
You know?
All right. So this is a news article from Israeli media, and it says a Gaza school burned down hours after aid arrived. Witnesses say Israeli soldiers started the fire. Witnesses said soldiers forced civilians away from the area, preventing them from collecting aid from the first convoy to reach the area in over a month. A video seen on social media taken by an IDF soldier showed 2 Israeli armored vehicles leaving the school as it was engulfed in flames.
I actually put a video on this in there. She's a young lady, kind of bluish green hair in there. It's a TikTok video.
Clicking through, I don't see that one.
Let me see. Yeah, it's the second video up, right before the funny. Ryan something posted it.
Got it.
No, some of you guys don't understand how sadistic this was. Do you see that? That is the aid that they allowed to get into the north yesterday. 10 aid trucks made it into Beit Hanun, and they were sent directly to the school shelter centers. And they were filled with fresh meat, fresh fruit, and fresh vegetables after months of only working with tinned food and spoiled flour. That sounds great, doesn't it? Just immediately after they unloaded all of the trucks, they dropped their evacuation orders. And then immediately after the evacuation orders dropped, they started dropping bombs. The people fled Beit Hanun under a hailstorm of bullets, bombs, and artillery, fired off by helicopter, by tank, and by warplane. Immediately before they started dropping bombs on the schools and the family homes, they gave them one final meal, but they didn't even give them time to eat it. And as the schools burned, Patel told the world that there would be no arms embargo because they let in food. And the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about this at all. They want to tell you what a great job it was that Israel finally let in some food, but they're not going to tell you that they targeted Hassam Shabbat's cousins. Yeah, the journalist for Al Jazeera, they bombed his cousin's family home, and the only survivor was a baby. Dr. Shabbat is laying in 2 pieces in the street, along with so many other people who were either gunned down or blown to bits. And the Western media wants us to give them a round of applause.
So you're literally going to give starving people fresh meats and vegetables, and before they can eat it, you are going to massacre them.
That makes it worse. I didn't know they could make it worse, but they did.
I know. It's and she's right. People are like, "Oh, they finally gave them food." Mm, okay,
Right,
well,
yeah.
they've been starving for more than 30 days, so even if that were the case, you don't get props for that shit. Oh my god.
Yep. Apparently there were empty seats
Here's
ahead of
some
the
good news.
France-Israel game. Yeah, this is cool.
They expected over 40,000 people.
So do you think even the French were abstaining a little bit?
Yes. Yes. But I mean, you know, I'm gonna make a meme with a picture of this and then a picture of like the marches with millions of pro-Palestine
Yeah.
people, and just saying you us, because this happens a lot. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the first pro-settler Israeli march in DC, which was, I believe it was like November or December in 2023, they literally were paying people $200 a person to go. And that came out like facts. And there were still, they did the thing, like, remember when Trump's inauguration, like, they took pictures and certain angles to make it look like, oh, it's the biggest crowd ever. Well, they did stuff like that. But then like some overhead photos came out where there was like, I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe 1,000 people maybe or something, and they were like over 100,000 people. It's like, yeah, no, not really. Because a lot of people who stick up for Israel and bootlick Israel are not going to get up and go rally for them. They're just,
Right.
your politicians and stuff like that. They're not
Yeah.
going to be in the streets with
They don't
them.
actually care.
They're
It's
just,
it's baked into their
they're taking
right.
the money and they're giving the lip service.
Yes.
Yeah. Like pro-Palestine people, we're like in the streets 24/7. Like we're just constantly organizing. But pro-settlers, they don't have that same kind of activist, fury that we have. They're just very much online, armchair warrior Zios. And that's why they don't really turn out a big crowd, because they're not people who are going to actually get in the streets for what they believe in. And good, stay home,
Yeah, it
please.
just tells us that they don't really believe it that much. They just believe it because they were told it, or because it's part of their religion to favor Israel. It's just baked in.
That's the thing. And it's like, well, I'm not going to go because I don't have a group of friends who's going to go and stuff. I've gone to marches by myself. I fucking organize shit by
Me too.
myself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking care, dude. Like, I'm still going to fucking go. I don't care. But they're very much like groupthink, and we're very much like, we will die on this hill. Like, I will die on this hill. Like, if I die today, everyone will know I'm so fucking free Palestine. I have my watermelon tattoo. Period. Like, that's it. End of
Mhm.
story.
Mhm.
Are you gonna die on that hill because all you do is sit on fucking Twitter being a Zio asshole? Maybe you're getting paid. I know a lot of people are.
Wish somebody would pay me.
You would do that shit?
Or no, pay me for other things, maybe.
That's what she said. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
All right, I have a clip here. Let me see.
This is a war on Palestinians. The humanitarian crisis is not some accidental byproduct, but across the board, as you've heard from doctors there, from our own agencies, from Palestinians themselves. You ask any independent observer or any person on the ground, they will tell you that this is a situation of mass atrocities. And therefore, the approach that the government takes simply cannot be based purely on aid alone. What is the point of providing for funding for UNRWA if Israel is going to dismantle UNRWA's services? What is the point of providing aid that comes into Al Arish and you see it packing up at the border if it's not allowed to enter? If it does enter, then there's no security, so it can't be distributed. There's no warehousing, there's no fuel. It's besieged from the north of Gaza. Our colleagues tell us every single day that it's hell. And what I'm really worried about is my colleagues, when I ask them, what do you want me to say in front of these people? They say, don't bother. Don't bother. It doesn't matter anymore. We're waiting to die.
Jesus Christ.
He's so right, though.
How do you not be hopeless?
I got a DM today that said, let me pull it up. And I get these DMs all the time. I get DMs from people in Gaza practically every day. And this is the one I got today. Let me see. Please don't stop talking about Palestine. We are not okay.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck to even say it. Like, I'm sorry my country is doing this. That's all I feel is I am so fucking sorry. They are not listening to us.
They're not.
And I'm sure nothing we will say. They're not. And nothing we will say, I'm sure, will make Palestinians feel any better. And I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I feel desperate just watching this shit. I can't even imagine how they feel.
Yep. Miguel says people from Gaza aren't afraid to slide into your DMs.
They are not.
We have a John Oliver clip.
It's actually good though.
Okay.
But death shouldn't be an inevitable outcome just because you happen to live behind an Israeli checkpoint. These checkpoints are a nightmare. Palestinian women trying to get to hospital to give birth have been delayed at them so many times. There have been dozens of documented roadside births, as well as cases of maternal and infant deaths. And these delays and inconveniences can be deliberate, as settlements are sometimes strategically placed to cut Palestinian communities off from one another. One outpost, placed in a commercial hub, openly declares on its Facebook page that the intent of its location is to disrupt contiguity between 3 Palestinian villages. And the way certain Palestinians are fenced in can get truly absurd.
Garib's home sits on his ancestral land, surrounded by this imposing metal fence, a house within a cage, encircled by Israeli settlements. His 11-year-old son Sabri was detained for 6 hours when his football rolled near the settlements.
What the fuck?
Sabri just grins with youthful bravado, claiming he wasn't scared. You get scared? But I was, his sister pipes up.
I bet she was. And everything about that is bonkers, from the idea of living in a house almost completely surrounded by a military fence to a childhood that includes the possibility that a stray football could land you in detention for 6 hours. And what on earth is the point of detaining an 11-year-old for 6 hours? What are you really hoping to get out of questioning him? And I'm not sure which part of that situation seems less livable, saying hello to the barrel of a remote-controlled turret every day, or the constant weather forecast of cloudy with a chance of tetanus.
Insane. That guy's whole house was almost enveloped by a
I
like,
saw that.
oh my fucking god.
I wonder if they could make this video any smaller for us.
Seriously.
But yeah. Why is John Oliver allowed to say these things?
It's HBO, Netflix, it's something like that. It's not. It's like a cable.
It's a streaming thing?
I don't know if it's streaming, but I think it's HBO. But
Okay.
you know, I haven't followed him in years because he's such a shit lib.
Yep.
But then I started watching clips a few months ago, and the fact that he calls them settlers all the time, I'm like,
That's a good sign.
really? So I started listening to him, and I'm like, interesting. He actually has some good clips.
If someone took my kid away
do
for 6
we
hours,
have next?
I'd be pissed off. We're done. We have the funny.
Oh shit! Yes, we have a funny.
Okay, here we go.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Man, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the words, and now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody? You think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone? Or my kids,
Wow.
maybe my grandkids. Who the
True.
fuck cares?
He got really real with that girl.
Oh my god, I love it so much. He says fuck to her too. I cannot. Okay. I have never been as drastic, but I am guilty of saying like some macabre shit to kids. I don't think I've ever been that bad, but like oh my god, that girl, it just poor thing. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever thought about it that way.
She had a good response for him.
I can't.
I liked her response.
She was professional as fuck. I know. She's like, true. I would have been like, you know what? You're so fucking right, dude. Oh my god. He came out as Free Palestine recently, which was
really?
pretty cool. What's
That is
that?
cool. I said, oh really?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. But that was, I watched that shit like 3 times. That shit was funny as hell.
We're all just
It reminds me of like, do you remember? Well, you're younger than me, but there was this show called TRL on MTV, Total Request Live. And it was this twat waffle named Carson Daly. And anyway, ODB was on, Old Dirty Bastard, Big Baby Jesus. And he was just one of the greats. And Carson said, so what's next for you? And he goes, I'm looking for some women to put some babies inside of. And he's like, and Carson's like, but are you going to do anything to help people? And he goes, not a damn thing. And I was like, you know what? That's punk rock as fuck. Like, he's not even going to lie. He's like, not a damn thing. I was like, damn, like, that's pretty badass. He was still, I don't know if you guys remember this, but on MTV News, ODB was legit cashing welfare checks. ODB, okay, was cashing fucking welfare checks on TV. He was like, yo, watch this shit. What'd that say?
It just says TRL with Carson
What'd that say,
Daly.
Matt?
TRL with Carson
Yep.
Daly. I think we have like a 3-second delay between us this evening. I'm not sure why.
Oh my God. Those were the days. Well, let's see. There's almost 80 people watching. Press like, press subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Thank you, Matt, for tuning in and joining me as always. Thank you guys for watching and joining in the comments. I always love that. Join tomorrow night, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Josh will be joining me for the Capitalist Death Parade. And so I don't use the same stuff tonight I use on Tuesdays. So we cover all kinds of, new stuff. So you can definitely watch both. So tune in tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, I have a buy me a coffee that helps me pay for the streaming fees and like all of my equipment, shit like that. So if you could chip in, that would be amazing. Also, please subscribe to my TikTok. I do a lot of videos there I do not put on here. And I think that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again, Matt.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Much love, everyone.